So I think I've put together a very simple slide presentation that outlines the different things that we're doing. I'm Hunter. As I said, David's on the call. We have another partner, Richard. But between the three of us, we manage the 5 ventures that you can see here. Our principal focus is on investment in the space, especially out of Crescent City Capital and Acacia. We are investing into a wide spectrum of different applications in blockchain. I guess kind of walking through these briefly one by one, and then I want to speak especially towards Crescent City Capital and Acacia, because those, in terms of just operational complexity, the amount of time and growth we put into those the past 2 years, those are sort of our flagship funds. So starting with Crescent City, it's a multi-strategy cryptocurrency hedge fund, exclusively trading cryptocurrencies. Acacia is our blockchain venture capital vehicle, which we launched last year. Evolve Energy Partners is a blockchain mining operation and power sourcing operation. It was preceded by a company that David founded in 2017 called CoinBayou. Cryptocurrent is Richard's podcast, so he founded that and hosts that. It's become a very popular podcast within the blockchain space. You can see some of the statistics there. And then VRTA is a data analysis and trading company that we integrate into a lot of our other ventures. So starting with Crescent City, since that was sort of our first venture and our flagship venture. And I guess going back even further, David and I met at a trading firm in Chicago in the early 2010s. We both went our separate directions. David was successful and very active in the cryptocurrency space in 2017 and 2018 during the run-up in that era. And Richard had David on his podcast in 2018 and interviewed him about CoinBayou. So that was how we all met. And we set out with the intention to create a hedge fund that was kind of, we had sort of two initiatives as we launched Crescent City. We wanted to give investors exposure to the cryptocurrency space with a vehicle that looked just like any other private capital vehicle that they'd seen before. So we wanted their taxes, their reporting, their investment process to be just like they were going to invest in a private real estate fund. But the difference being obviously is that we were trading crypto and that was our sole focus. So that was what we set out to build, and that is very much how Crescent City is structured today. The other objective is to try to outperform the market and our market benchmarks using our trading acumen. So we've stuck to that. We now have a 3-year track record. Every month our returns and our accounting is performed by a third-party fund administrator. We have 3 years of tax audits, and it's what we've distributed to our investors looks very much like any other kind of investment. And I think we definitely in 2018 when this vehicle was first conceptualized, we made our first trades in early 2019. An actively managed cryptocurrency hedge fund was not prevalent in the marketplace. There were some really big market players. There was a lot of retail, and we really found a spot in this very, very wide middle market. And surprisingly today, I mean, there still are not a lot of other options, or fewer than you would think, operating the way that we do, in my opinion. But this has been, we've expanded we've gotten much more sophisticated, expanded our capability set. We still do fundamental value and discretionary trading, but we have a lot of algorithmic trading. That's the vast majority of our volume now. We have an options book, a couple of options books, which have been a godsend for managing risk and hedging ourselves. And then most recently, we started doing some very conservative staking plays to try to incorporate a stable return as well. So really a diverse set of strategies within that vehicle. And it's been, that's our longest standing product. It's been a great company for us. It's been, I think, great for our investors. It's an open-ended fund. We're constantly, raising money for that. I think our intention is, as long as there is an active cryptocurrency market, we will always be operating Crescent City Capital or some derivative thereof. So moving on, and one other thing I should mention about Crescent City is when we launched, and still currently, we wanted to stick with what we call blue chip cryptocurrencies. So high liquidity, very much layer one protocols, the top 20 to 30 products traded on Coinbase, and not delve into tokens or products that are pre-public issuance. So that's still how we manage that vehicle today. So we got together last summer. We had kind of a team retreat, and we were brainstorming about where we thought the opportunity was going to come in the market in 2022 and beyond. And if you think back to kind of last August or so when we met, that was right at sort of this crescendo in the NFT space, where there was just an immense amount of value into this new crypto product, or new for many people, us included. You also had seen Solana and Avalanche, which are great protocols, but the amount of value that they had accreted over the prior 18 months was something that I don't think a lot of people foresaw. And then you also had projects like Axie Infinity, which they're blockchain based protocols, but Axie Infinity is also a game, and it has a huge social component to it. So I mentioned those because as we were thinking about the 2020s, we were thinking that this is really going to be the utility era, where we shift focus from sort of the digital store of value, these very useful open source protocols that have proliferated over the last 10 years, and we start to focus more on companies, on the teams backing companies, and the products and services that they're going to provide. And we did not have, that was beyond, investing in those kinds of investments was beyond Crescent City's mandate. So with that in mind, we set out to launch Acacia last August. We made our first trades in December of 2021. And that's been, it's been another really great project for us. We have kind of about 15 primary investments so far, still raising money, but we're going to close that soon. And I think, one of the things that we've been really impressed at is the projects that are raising money, either via equity or issuing native tokens, or some combination thereof, is there are a lot of good projects that are adding critical infrastructure and value to the blockchain space. There's tons of DeFi projects, tons of GameFi projects, and we've invested in those and think that there are a lot of great companies out there. But there are other companies that really are addressing very traditional businesses, and either you can call it what you want, they're either disrupting or adding value with a blockchain software as the sort of backbone of their company. And the products and services that they're offering if someone uses them, they may not even know that they're using a blockchain. And these companies, which traditionally would probably have gone to traditional private equity markets for raising capital, in many instances are simply issuing native tokens in order to do that. And I think that's an exciting shift in the marketplace. I think it allows a lot more and different types of investors to invest. And we are certainly taking advantage of it in Acacia. And I think we're really excited about the projects in which we've invested so far, and a lot of others that we're seeing come down the pike. So, okay, so that's sort of, I wanted to go over the Acacia and Crescent City primarily. We can talk about the other ventures as well, but I wanted to address first a question that I think we've been getting recently is, we have these 5 companies. It's Richard and David and myself managing them principally. We have other colleagues. We have a very good service providers. We have employees, but it's mostly us. And so the question that we've been getting is, are you covering all your bases? Do you have the resources that you need? And I think we very confidently say yes for a couple of reasons. First, I'd point out that if you go to any of the major funds in the marketplace, they're doing the same things. They have marketing arms, they have hedge funds, they have venture capital funds, they have lending, they have equipment financing. So they have all these same capabilities. They just market them under one umbrella for the most part. And we're marketing them separately, I think, for several reasons. From our perspective, all of these business models are very different. When you look at Crescent City, Acacia, Evolve, Cryptocurrent, they're very different businesses, even though they all have blockchain as the common theme between them. And then going deeper, they have different investments, different investors, different capital structures, and even on our end, different ownership structures. So keeping all of that discrete and differentiated is frankly just easier for us as we're going out to different groups of people to speak about this. And also internally, like if you just think about accounting, knowing the packet you're holding is for Acacia and another packet is for Crescent City versus Crescent City 1 and 2 or something like that. And then I think the other thing that's very important and that is really pays dividends for us is how synergistically everything works together here. So Acacia has invested in companies and with management teams that Richard has interviewed on cryptocurrency. We have had service providers in Crescent City, options brokers who we would not normally think to, talk much about the energy space, come to Evolve Energy Partners and offer us introductions for very cheap, clean energy. So there's a ton of overlap, and they work together very synergistically. And I think that's another reason that if you look at this, it might look like a lot, but it really fits together kind of well into one. The puzzle piece fit together very clearly into one block. And then I think the other thing too is as managers, we're definitely emerging managers. We've been doing Crescent City for over 3 years, Evolve and its predecessors for close to well over 3 years actually for Evolve. Richard has done cryptocurrency for, I guess, close to 4 years at this point, and Acacia is relatively newer. But we have, in terms of the resources that we've identified, the amount we've learned in doing this, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say, what would have taken us a month to do in early 2019, we could now do in a couple of hours. We really just have gotten much better at this and more sophisticated. So that's another reason I think we're pretty familiar with the ins and outs of all of these operations. That was, I am happy to go more into sort of specific details about any one of these, and it looks like Richard did join, and David is on the call as well, so they can answer any questions. But that was sort of the overview that I wanted to give, and I think I would close with saying that we're still we're like, as I said, we're constantly raising money for Crescent City. Acacia, we are likely going to close soon, but we're still raising money. Evolve it's a much different kind of investment structure, but raising capital for that as well. So if anyone in your networks or on the call is interested, even if it's just about learning more, we're always here and would like to speak and meet with you all. So I think,
Hunter, I think there was someone that David wanted a breakdown of Evolve. I'll briefly run over that if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Evolve was as Hunter mentioned, kind of evolved from Coin Bayou. So I started mining and trading in late 16, early 17 through GPUs. So we were mining Ethereum primarily. That quickly evolved by June of that year, June of 2017, into ASICs. And then I very quickly realized that traditional data centers were not going to work in the long run if I wanted to continue to grow. So what we looked at is we looked at a couple things. One, kind of creating our own modular data center out of shipping containers, which is it's kind of it's very regular in the space now. But then it also became a game to find energy. And I think that's what Evolve does best. So to tell you, we have 3 different locations. New York, we have Jackson, Mississippi. And then our most notable location, our most recent location is in Seminole, Texas. We're on a liquefied natural gas plant. We're taking the excess natural gas that would otherwise be flared off through that LNG process. We're running it through generators and effectively mining Bitcoin with it. We've Evolve is 99% or greater on the mining on the SHA-256 algorithm, Bitcoin primarily. The goal now is to again, we're looking for more power. We've identified partners, mining partners, because it is a very capital intensive business. We've identified the mining partners, and now we just really need to find the power. There are 2 sites that we're currently working to build out. One is another one in Texas, on grid site at a cheap rate. I think it's around 4.3 cents a kilowatt hour. That's a 20 megawatt site. And then we have a site in Arkansas that is around 16 megawatts. That one's a little more expensive, in the 5 cent range. So that's our focus at this point, with Evolve Energy.
Very cool. I should introduce you to Joe Acosta, who's one of our ambassadors at Infium. He's launching our Texas chapters and a couple other locations, and he's deep into this sort of flared gas industry and knows all the providers in Texas. So I'll make that intro.
Thank you.
I love the compilation of the companies, and it's so exciting what you guys have done with the hedge fund and this venture fund in essence. But what I really am so intrigued by is what Richard's done with cryptocurrency and how that's really feeding the correct deal flow. And in this space, you almost have to have an event company of some sort or media company of some sort in order to really get to the best deal flow. Can you guys kind of explain how that works together?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll speak to that. Hey, everybody, I'm Richard. So when I first learned about cryptocurrency back in 2018, I was working at an AI company. First day on the job, boss says, "Hey, what do you know about Bitcoin?" I was like, "What's that?" So went down the rabbit hole and immediately found that most of the content being created at the time was either how do you get crypto rich really quickly. So everybody was shilling or like trying to tell you like how to buy something and hopefully have it go to the moon, or it was super technical. And there weren't a lot of people creating content to break it down and make it very easy to consume, and that you could then go and share and be able to relate that with other people. So I wanted to like help create that. So as I learned in the space, I wanted to be able to teach other people while being able to, grow in my own knowledge and understanding of the space. So cryptocurrency's been around for 4 years. We've done over 280 episodes at this point, not stopping anytime soon. And what's been great is made a lot of international connections and have been able to see a vast array of different types of startups in the space. And one of the challenges that I had back when, David and Hunter were all talking about a year ago when the concept of Acacia came together was I meet all these amazing people and I wish I had a vehicle to be able to invest with them because I'm getting to see them all the time. And so once Acacia happened, there's been multiple times where now we immediately, at the end of me speaking with these people, seeing how amazing these things are, being able to immediately say, "Hey, are you currently investing? Or are you currently raising?" Because then with that, not only can we participate in that, because of years of being able to network and find other people within the space, being able to do warm intros to other connections that could help them grow, and being able to do warm connections, like even if we can't help them, being able to point them in the right direction or letting them know about a potential competitor, or letting them know about synergistic company that they could work with to help solve a particular challenge, or if they're looking for a launch pad, or all kinds of different things. Just being able to be a master connector of different tools within the crypto blockchain space to keep companies growing. So the way I looked at cryptocurrency when I first started was a long-term play. It was a means to be able to speak to amazing projects, and not just that, eventually get to the point where they come to me. And what's awesome is, I probably get anywhere from 5 to 20 inbound leads a week from this. So it's been really cool.